What if the version of you living your life right now is just the surface? That the thoughts you have, the name you say, even the story you tell yourself every single day might not be yours at all? Stay with me. Because in the next few minutes, you won't just hear something, you might remember something. Something older than your name, deeper than your story, and louder than the silence you carry inside. This isn't a theory. This isn't a belief system. This is a key that's been hidden for centuries. Not because it didn't work, but because it worked too well. The kind of key that unlocks the memory of your soul. Welcome to New Paradigm. Why the truth was hidden. There's a reason you never heard about this growing up, a reason it's not in your school books. It was never meant to be taught openly. This technique, a very old practice, was banned, distorted, or flat out erased by systems that didn't want you to wake up. Why? Because an awakened soul can't be controlled. Once you remember who you really are, you stop following, stop fearing, and start living from a place that no one can touch. You see, this practice doesn't add anything to you. It removes everything that isn't you. It peels off the fake layers, the masks, the noise, all the things that were forced onto you by a world that benefits when you stay asleep. Ancient proof you were always more. This isn't new. Cultures around the world knew it. In ancient Egypt, there were sacred places called the houses of life. Inside, the priest guided chosen students through a ritual death, not with poison or weapons, but by laying still, while their consciousness traveled beyond the veil. When they returned, they remembered. In ancient Greece, there were the Orphic schools. They said the soul was trapped in the body, not as a curse, but as a test. They used trance and breath to help the soul step outside itself and see where it came from. And in India, the wise rishis didn't try to teach you new things. They taught smarana, the art of remembering what your soul already knows. They said real awakening isn't about gaining more, it's about removing what doesn't belong. Are you starting to feel it? That sense that maybe, just maybe, you already knew this? When the light was covered. So what happened? Why did we forget? Because light threatens control. Over time, religions went to war. The ones in power created rules, burned books, punished those who remembered. They replaced direct experience with ritual. They told people what to think, how to pray, who they were. But the real danger was never remembering. The danger was forgetting. Because when you forget who you are, you're easy to shape. What this banned practice really is. Let's break it down. This ancient technique. It's not a ceremony, it's not a chant. It's not even something you learn like a school subject. It's more like tuning a radio. Your soul is a perfect melody. But that sound is buried under layers of static. Beliefs that aren't yours, fears that aren't real, thoughts that aren't coming from within. This practice simply clears the static. It helps the true sound of you shine again. It moves in 3 stages. They don't have to come in order, but each one matters. Step 1, deprogramming the false self. Here's where it starts. You begin by watching your thoughts. Really watching. Noticing every fear, every want, every opinion. Then asking, is this even mine? Most of what you think, you didn't choose. It was handed to you by parents, schools, media, friends, culture. This part of the technique gently exposes what's fake, not by fighting it, just by seeing it. When your true self looks at a false belief, that belief can't survive, because truth doesn't argue, it just sees. Step 2, awakening the inner sense. Then comes something even more powerful. Once the noise fades, something ancient wakes up. Your inner sense. Not thinking, not feeling, knowing. It starts small, a whisper, a moment of stillness that feels fuller than hours of talking. You don't force it awake, you tune into it. You can breathe slowly, sit in silence, imagine with focus. See the symbol of a lotus blooming in your heart. Picture an eternal flame that never goes out. These aren't fantasies. Your soul speaks in images. And when you see with devotion, your soul answers. Step 3. Resonance with your true name. Now the deepest layer. Ancient traditions say your soul has a name, not a word, a frequency, a signature that is only yours. This practice teaches you don't call that name with sound. You call it with presence. When you reach that vibration, something stirs. You feel it before you understand it. It's like something lost is suddenly standing in front of you. Not a story, not a thought. You, and you don't just recognize it, you remember. What awakening actually feels like. Now let me be honest. This moment is beautiful, but it's not all light. When you remember who you are, you also remember everything you've avoided. Pain, regret, choices that weren't yours, parts of you locked away, and that's good. Because you can't be whole unless you face every part of you. Some people enter what we call a conscious trance. You're not asleep. You're more awake than ever. You see your body, but you also watch your thoughts from a little distance. You still feel, but feelings no longer control you. You remember things you never studied. You feel truths that no one taught you. This is when the practice becomes life. Living the practice in a loud world. This isn't just about spiritual highs. This practice was never meant to stay in temples or mountaintops. It works best in real life. In noise, in traffic, in heartbreak, in routine. That's where real power lives. Start with silence. Even just 5 minutes a day. No goal, just breathing and listening. This is where the soul whispers come back. Then treat every action as a sacred act. Walking, eating, talking. Do it with presence. Ask, am I doing this from habit or from who I really am? Watch what you take in. Your soul doesn't forget, but your mind gets buried. The images you scroll, the words you hear, they shape your inner temple. Speak from your center, not to be wise, but to be real. And most of all, act like you already remember, even if it's fuzzy, even if it's just a spark. Because the soul responds to vibration, not logic. When you walk like you carry something ancient, that ancient thing shows up. The invitation you were born for. You weren't meant to forget, but now you have the signal, the map, the vibration, and something inside you already knows what to do next. Have you ever felt like something deep inside you already knows the truth, but you just can't explain it? What was that moment like for you? And if your soul really does have a secret name or frequency, what do you feel it might sound or feel like? Drop your wildest guess below. I want to read them all. If this stirred something in you, even just a little, don't let it fade. Hit that like button so you can come back to it later. Subscribe to this channel if you want more videos like this. And don't forget to ring the bell icon so you don't miss the next time we go deeper. Your soul might just be waiting for it.